The early archery season in Nebraska is one of my most anticipated hunts of the year. You'll see large groups of birds, lots of activity. They're establishing their pecking order at that time of the year. So you'll see gobblers chasing gobblers, jakes chasing gobblers. Birds are difficult to call in at times, so we use fairly large decoy spread. We'll use anywhere from 3 to 6 decoys at some times. This year has been especially windy and cold. We'll have to see what the birds are doing, but it's something you might consider. Give the early archery season in Nebraska a try.
There you go.
Tyler and I were sitting here watching, and we had a nice gobbler walk past us. And maybe 10 minutes later, here's a jake comes in, looks at the decoys, walks past us maybe 20 yards, and I'm like, what's going on? I said, we need to move down the hill a little bit. So we moved down the hill here, and once we got set up, it wasn't maybe 10 more minutes, and we had a group of 3 jakes, and then there were 3 gobblers, and then 3 more jakes. The adult gobblers peeled off and went down to the woods. The jakes came up here and stood in the decoys. 3 of them did, and 3 of them hung back. And I gobbled a couple times, and one of the adults came back out and followed the other group towards us a little bit. So he came in, and I ranged him at 38 yards. I shot him for 35. I don't know what I was thinking. I shot low. It didn't spook him. He stayed out there, ranged him real quick again. He was 41. Pulled out another arrow, shot him, and he went out to 50 yards, and he's laying out there at 50 yards. So I'm really pleased. Bird down in Nebraska. Nice adult. bird number 2. It took some doing, but we finally found him. When I shot him, I couldn't tell where I had hit him, and he went all the way down to the woods, and we had to do a little bit of searching, but he was dead when we got there. So he's nice bird too, 2-year-old turkey. Great day here in Nebraska.
Well, we're here in Nebraska. It's the second day of season. Yesterday morning it was cold. It was in the upper 20s, and we had a really good day. Ended up shooting a couple birds. It's the second morning now, and it's even colder. It ended up rain changed over to a little bit of sleet and snow last night. We left some stuff in the back of the truck. Got covered with frost and frozen. The steam's just getting on the glass of the camera this morning and fogging it up, but it's probably 21, 22 birds gobbling a little bit, but it's just frozen. I mean, this is deer hunting weather, not turkey weather.
Matt and I just got into Tyler's box blind. We've got about 20 turkeys over here by his hay bale blind. We just happened to sneak in here and get in here without them seeing us. We had to crawl and push our blind right up by this, and I snuck out and put out a decoy, and we're going to have to see what they're doing. They're just standing over there. They've been standing over there for about a half hour, not doing anything. I called a few times. They don't have any interest at all. We got a couple more decoys in here. I think I'm gonna sneak out and put a couple more decoys out. They walked past us once, 4 big adult gobblers. I had one decoy out. They didn't even look at us. They just kept on going. Can you see those decoys out there okay?
Yeah, that's good.
They're not very far out there.
Lose any arrows, and I only lost one.
We ended up with 2 birds. It was a great hunt. It just took us a long time. I don't know what time it is. It's probably around 11 o'clock, and we started out at daylight, so it's a good hunt in Nebraska. We just got in the blind. Matt, Tyler, and I were just at the top of the hill. We saw 4 jakes, and I called to them. They were probably almost 800 yards. We couldn't ever hear them. They were running towards us whenever I called to them, so we ran back here, set up the decoys, got in the blind, and they're actually just on this next hillside coming towards us right now. Matt shot a real nice bird this morning. If one of these jakes comes in and gives us a good chance to shoot it, I'm going to shoot one. I missed a nice gobbler at 34 yards today. I just shot it with the wrong pin. Also, I was shooting about 3 inches left. Came back, shot the bow, got it sighted in good now. Wish us luck. These birds are closing in fast, so we're going to get ready.
Furthest one to the left.
No, that strutting bird to the right. I got him pulled in the camera. That'll work. Well, that was really fun. Matt actually had to crawl from the back of the blind out and move one of the decoys out so they could see it. They were 100 yards from us, but they were standing in the field right in the edge of the woods in the shade. They couldn't see us because of the corn stubble. He crawled out there, grabbed one of the decoys, and did a couple of rolls out to where the green grass was. There's a roadbed that goes all the way down to them. They could see movement, but I don't think they knew what he was. When he stuck that decoy in the ground and they saw it, he rolled back over and they were coming. Within 2 minutes, they were already at the decoys, and we sat here for probably 30 to 40 minutes watching them 100 yards away. It just goes to show you, I mean, you can have your decoys out, but the main thing is to put them where the animals can actually see them. These turkeys could finally see the decoys, and we were calling to them. They actually gobbled a couple times, but they just couldn't see the decoys.
Well, it's our first morning here in Nebraska. We rolled in last night about an hour and a half before dark. Did some driving around, found the birds. They're in the same spot they are pretty much every year when we come out here. As you can see by my breath, it's pretty cold. But we got in here, we got set up. We've got birds probably 250 yards away gobbling this morning, so we're just going to sit here and see what happens. My buddy Tyler that we're hunting with has been seeing birds pretty consistently in this field. Are you ready? Yes. Yeah. here we are in Nebraska. It's the second day of turkey season. It was cold this morning, about 27 degrees, frost on the ground. I'm up here hunting with my buddy Jim and Tyler. We got set up. We heard the birds gobbling this morning, and they came out in the neighbor's field. There was probably 30 or 40 birds come out in the field. Finally, took them a while, but they worked over to us. I got a shot at this one. We had some jakes come in close. We had a bunch of birds within 3 or 4 yards of the blind. I made the shot back a little bit, hit him a little bit low, and he flew off. We still had birds out in the field, so we sat in the blind for probably another hour and a half before the rest of the birds worked their way away from us. We walked over and found him. He was still alive. I got a second arrow in him, but just an exciting hunt. Just birds everywhere, right up against the blind for probably 20 minutes. It was just an awesome hunt.
You think so? Yawning. Yeah. Where'd I hit? No. Yeah. How far is it? Oh, ranging. Hold on. Probably 33. Oh, shoot.
On this hunt that we just had, we could hear the birds across the road, and they gobbled a couple times, and the hens were yelping. And when they finally did cross the road, Jim and I thought it sounded like hens behind us, and actually this gobbler come out, and 2 other gobblers were in the woods with him. They were actually yelping when they come across, not gobbling. We were expecting the hen to be the first thing out, but it was actually the gobblers in the woods back there yelping behind us. Kind of surprised us.